Okay, so we have talked about the moving from an economy of scarcity to an economy of abundance and all of these niches that we now market through. So we want to decide, what is your blog going to cover? What is your niche? And that's tough. That is hard to do because you don't want to make it too wide, but you don't want to make it too narrow. So it's likely that you will discover a niche and it will morph into something different as you move along, or maybe you might cover several niches. But you have to do your best shot. The first thing you want to understand is get rid of this idea that you are going to direct sell on your blog. If you're somebody that wrote a book, for example, you're not going to use your blog to sell your book. You may sell your book as a result of doing a good job on your blog, but that will be a secondary benefit, right? So your job with the blog is to put content in that blog that helps your customers solve problems. Your job is to serve them, is to give them free stuff that they can use right away, meaning content to solve a problem or enhance a passion they have in that niche. So if you understand that, that will be a lot more helpful. Just think about somebody like David Meerman Scott. He started blogging, and then he was getting information out to customers about marketing and the new marketing and PR. He wrote a book, but he doesn't get on the blog and say, buy my book. He develops a following that makes him a magnet for that information. And of course, once people come to the blog site and read his information and gain from it, they buy his book. Then they also say, would you like to come and speak? Then they say, would you like to teach classes? He's going all over the world talking about this. So the income that came to him maybe wasn't even what he expected. It certainly was that way with me. I wrote a little book about ghosts, and it turned out that people wanted to know more about haunted Maryland. They wanted to go on ghost tours. That overlapped into my Thin Places thing. So your niches will develop as long as you do the right thing with the content, and that is give the customer something they need in this niche to solve a problem. And the income will follow. Once you've become a person, the go-to person, you're then able to shape conversations instead of just listen to them. So you start out by listening to the conversations, as we talked about before, finding out what people need, finding out what they're saying, where's the gap. But once you attract a following, you can then shape the conversation. You can get people talking about what you want to talk about. And then the potential for growing your business is even greater. So when you're looking at what your niche is going to be, here's a good place to start. You want to say, what are other people doing? That's the first obvious place. If you're a mommy blogger, that's too broad. You can't just blog about being a mommy. You have to have a niche. So what are some of the niches out there, and how are people filling the needs? What I found was there wasn't a lot out there. I kind of had to pioneer my niche, and you may have to as well. But once you start linking in with like people, you'll see where the gap is. Where's the hole? Where's the place that nobody's filling the need for in the customer base? The other thing that's helpful is to create customer profiles. So you go out, as I said, you go out there and you look at what people are saying, and then you say, what do my customers look like? What are they passionate about? What are they upset about? What's an obstacle that they're facing? Or what is a problem that they face that perhaps I could help solve? What is their income level? What's their demographic? Where do they live? Creating these customer profiles will also help you refine your niche, because understanding the customers gives you more information about what your niche really looks like. So you want to try that as well. Once you've got that down and you've decided what your niche is, it's time to create a blog title and a tagline. A title for your blog and a tagline. This is when you begin to brand yourself. What voice does your blog have? Is it casual? Is it authoritative? Is it friendly? Are you an expert, or are you an observer? What's the personality, and what's the niche? And once you've decided that, come up with a name. And when you're thinking of a name for your blog, I will tell you the shorter the better. It should be relatively short. It should be catchy. It should be relevant. So you don't want to come up with some word that has nothing at all to do with your niche. It should be relevant to the niche, but it doesn't have to be absolutely relevant. I mean, it doesn't have to say my niche is this, but it should be relevant to the niche. So short, catchy, relevant. And the other thing you might want to do is go to one of the registrars like GoDaddy.com and see if a domain name is available. So if you pick a niche like Vineyard and you want your blog to be called Wine Connoisseur or Wino, look and see what domain names are available, because in the perfect world, you've got a domain name that is also the name of your blog, that is short, that is catchy, that is relevant. Those are some things to take into consideration. Sometimes you can't do all of that. I would recommend that you not name your blog your company name. Don't name your blog Great Blue Media, because it isn't any of those things that we said it should be. That's who you are. But the blog is a platform that helps solve problems for customers. So keep that in mind. Once you've got your name, you need a tagline. The name is what people remember. The tagline is what tells people what the blog does. What does your blog do? Who does it serve? What's its niche? What's its focus? I just came up with a new blog because I had to get rid of all of my business and social media stuff out of my regular blog site. I had that mixed in, and it's not good to mix unlike niches. If I'm talking about writing, I shouldn't be necessarily talking about marketing. They're two different things. So I created a blog site for the marketing, and I couldn't decide what to call it, and I finally came up with Wisecrack. Crack being C-R-A-I-C, which is an Irish word that is used all the time in Ireland, which refers to lively, engaging conversation. Where's the crack? People want to know, where's the crack? This unnerves some Americans, but really it's a very common phrase. So Wisecrack, to me, the domain name was free, so it was short. It was just a few letters. And my tagline is smart, lively conversation about business, marketing, and social media. So that tells you what my blog does, as well as tells you the name. So your assignment, you have 2 assignments now that we've gone over using the blog as a marketing tool, done some background on some of the aggregates that you can use to listen to conversation, and then now talked about niches and the voice of your blog. And what you want to do is come up with a name of your blog and a tagline, and then you want to come up with, create an elevator speech, something that in 30 seconds you can say what your blog is, what it does, who it serves, and why people would want to subscribe to it. Once you've done that, you'll be able to drive the content much easier. It'll be a lot easier to come up with content than to sit there and think, what do I blog about now? The final thing that I want to say is, once you've got your niche identified and you begin to create content and you begin to get a following, each person that comes to your blog and sees you as an influencer or an opinion leader in your niche is like this electrical channel. They've got outlets going everywhere, all kinds of people they know, all kinds of places they come in contact with. So that one person is connected to hundreds of others. And this is why blogs can be successful, because they're likely going to be connected to people in this niche, because people are attracted to other people where they have something in common. And that's what makes the blogging platform so powerful, because each person is connected to hundreds of others. And so when you have your following there and you come up with some really great content, the chance of it going viral is possible. It's possible to get something. If it doesn't go hugely viral, it might be a minor viral spread. That has certainly happened to me. And it usually happens with posts I least suspect it to happen with. So every single follower you get has an intrinsic value that is exponential. So one by one, you get the followers. One by one, you start engaging people. And that is where the channels open up. So this is our goal, is to remember the customer is always right. We're there to serve that customer, whether it's somebody that you want to buy a product or join an organization or buy into a cause or a concept. I refer to them as customers, but they're all people that you want to attract to your blog and your niche. They are the ones that rule it all, and they're the ones that we serve when we're looking at this niche, the voice, the tagline. When we're developing this tool, our eventual goal is to become an opinion leader, an influencer, an expert, and one that eventually shapes the conversation. Because once you've built that following, that is an asset you can almost not measure in dollars. So on we go. Those are your assignments. That is to do your name and your tagline and to do your elevator speech.